So let's talk about discipline. But I want you to forget everything you think you know about just trying harder. We need to see this for what it really is, a war, a constant, daily war for your single most valuable resource, your attention.
You know that feeling, right? You sit down to do something important, something that matters, and the next thing you know, you're just scrolling. An hour has vanished. It's this constant battle between what you want to do and what your phone wants you to do.
Well, guess what? That feeling is 100% real. You are in a fight. But here's the twist. It's not just you against your phone. It's you against your own brain's wiring. The good news, though, this is a fight you can absolutely win. And this right here, this is your battle plan. Okay, first things first. Before you can win a war, you have to understand the battlefield. This isn't just about having more willpower. It's about realizing there's a full-scale war being fought for every second of your focus.
Think about it. You're up against two massive opponents. On one side, you've got companies that have poured billions of dollars into engineering apps to be as addictive as possible. And on the other side, your own brain, which is biologically programmed to want the easy, instant reward, yet the phone, over the hard, long-term goal. So let's be super clear. If you feel distracted, it's not a personal failing. It's the default setting in the world we live in.
But that's just the external battle. Now we've got to look inward. It's time to meet the secret agents working against you from the inside, your brain's own saboteurs.
We're going to break this down into 4 specific, hardwired instincts that are actively trying to undermine your discipline. Because once you can name them, once you see them for what they are, that's when you can start to fight back.
First up, we have your brain's obsession with keeping everything the same. It's a survival instinct called homeostasis. It's fantastic for keeping your body temperature at 98.6, but it is terrible for personal growth because it sees any big change, even a good one, as a threat to your survival.
And this is exactly how it traps you. It's that little voice of fear in your head that whispers, "Don't leave your hometown, you might get lonely." Or, "Don't go for that big promotion, what if you can't handle it?" Your brain mistakes what's familiar for what's safe, making it incredibly hard to take the risks you need to take to grow.
Okay, saboteur number 2 is a real mind bender. It's a psychological quirk called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And basically, it means that the people who are the worst at something are often the most confident that they're great at it. And the skill we're talking about here? Yeah, it's self-discipline.
This is what that sounds like in real life. You tell yourself, "Oh yeah, I'm super disciplined," but your actions, and more importantly, your results, tell a totally different story. So here's the key. You have to stop listening to the story you tell yourself and start looking at the cold, hard evidence. Are you getting the results you want? Your results don't lie.
Procrastination, my old friend. We all know this one, but get this, it's not always about being lazy. A lot of the time, it's actually perfectionism in disguise. We get so stuck trying to map out the perfect, flawless plan that we never, ever actually start.
So here's the antidote. It's called the 70% rule. Look, that first 70% of a plan is usually pretty straightforward. It's that final 30%. The endless what-ifs, the tiny little details, that's where progress goes to die. The rule is simple. Once your plan is 70% of the way there, you just go, you start. You'll figure out the rest on the move.
And our final saboteur is something we're all guilty of. It's called the planning fallacy. And it means we are naturally, pathologically awful at estimating how long something is going to take. I mean, we're not just a little bit off. We are wildly, wildly optimistic.
And this is why it's so dangerous. You set aside 1 hour to study for a test. 5 hours later, you're not even close to done. But you don't think, my estimate was way off. No, you think, I'm a failure, I'm too slow. That gap between what you expected and what's real creates this cycle of frustration that just makes you want to give up.
So, we've met the saboteurs inside our own heads. The big question now is, what's our weapon? How do we fight back? Well, that brings us to this huge debate about the very nature of willpower itself.
You've basically got 2 major schools of thought here. One camp says discipline is a skill, it's a muscle. The more you use it to resist temptation, the stronger it gets. But the other camp says, nope, that's a total myth. Human willpower is weak. The only way to win is to never fight in the first place. You have to remove temptation from your environment completely.
So, who's right? Well, the smartest and most effective strategy is to realize it's not one or the other. You got to do both.
Tidy up your environment, make the fight easier on yourself, get the junk food out of the house, delete the social media apps. But also, you have to practice building that mental muscle for all those times when temptation is just unavoidable.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we start building that muscle and putting together a more disciplined life? Well, it all starts with a few key building blocks.
The foundation is all about building habits that run on autopilot. First, you need rock-solid routines, a non-negotiable wake-up time and bedtime, every single day, no exceptions. This creates a structure your brain can rely on. Second, you have to make planning a habit. Vague dreams like leave the country are just wishes. A real plan with clear, step-by-step actions is a roadmap that actually gets you somewhere.
And now we get to my favorite part. This is your emergency tool. This is the simple trick you can pull out of your back pocket the second an impulse strikes and tries to throw you off course. Seriously, think about it. You're working hard, you're in the zone, and then bam! The urge to check your phone, to open the fridge, to just quit, it feels overwhelming. What do you do in that exact moment?
Here it is, the 10-minute rule. It is so simple. The moment that impulse hits, you don't fight it and you don't give in. You just pause and you make a deal with yourself. I'll wait 10 minutes. That's it. What you'll find almost every time is that an impulse is like a wave in the ocean. It swells up, it peaks, and then it just fades away. By waiting 10 minutes, you just let the wave pass you by.
So let's bring this all home. The forces that are fighting for your attention, both inside your head and out in the world, they're incredibly powerful. But as we've just seen, they're also predictable. And discipline, it's not some magic power you either have or you don't. It is a system you can design, and it is a skill that you can build. So the only real question left is, now that you know the rules of the game, what are you going to build?